Basically just a few key things that we can say when we're saying goodbye to a loved one that can really help.
What are they?
They're gonna sound really simple, but I swear I've seen them work. I love you. Thank you. I forgive you. Please forgive me.
Now, I know that there's some people who have an immediate turn-off to medical dramas because of the stereotype that shows like Grey's Anatomy have established. While Grey's can be sometimes some ridiculously corny, goofball, interestingly, but also ridiculously dramatic drama, there is also some medical stuff in there as well, but sometimes it's not the point. The Pitt 100% is all about medical drama, about the facility, about the faculty, of learning about mistakes, dealing with public, both angry, confused, sad, desperate, in denial, all forms of emotional impact on oneself. And the Pitt hits them all in stride, all the while giving you an entertaining narrative at the same time, actually underliningly educating you. For those of you who don't know, this is essentially as much of a spiritual sequel to ER as it can be without the Michael Crichton estate being an absolute giant cunt about it. And they have been a cunt about this show, do not forget that. It follows Noah Wiley's character, Dr. Robbie, as he's coming into another shift as any other day, but this day has a special connotation to it. It is the anniversary, the 3-year anniversary of one of the worst days in his work life when he lost his mentor. And he's trying to keep that under the skin. He's trying to keep himself resolute, and he's doing a pretty darn good job of it for the most part, especially with all that's going on, teaching the new interns, assaults on staff. Now, there is this obvious kind of worry to him considering how important this day is and what it has had an effect on him. And it's also quite poignant when it starts with him going up to the rooftop and talking to one of the other major doctors who's just kind of looking at the edge ever so questionably, and he says, that would be pretty rude of you to do that. And he's like, you're a terrible doctor. And throughout this season, which is one day, 15 hours, you realize why they sometimes go to that rooftop and why they have those thoughts. The absolute insanity that goes on in this entire season. And you find out what it's like to suffer. You find out what it's like to succeed. You find out what it's like to burn out. It is a multitude of very, very high energy, very high intensity, very high anxiety situations, and it just falls in one after another. This has such a good hook at the end of every episode that you immediately want to watch more, and I have watched this almost in full 3 times. Such a wild show to watch in terms of its rewatchability, of its intensity, and the hook. The hook is that you want to know what happens next. You want to see how they deal with the next situation. 95% of this is about the medical situations and what these doctors have to deal with on a daily basis. And then the other 5% is just some extra drama thrown into that as medical stuff. There was never a point in this season where I felt like stuff was corny, unearned, or flat out just drama for drama's sake. Everything that happens as it eventually escalates for a good reason, it gets more and more intense. And you find that there are moments in here that will correlate with the ending, but not in the way you think. They are, in fact, leading up to the conclusion, but in their own way. And when you are limited to basically one location, being the hospital, that's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive that they are able to hook you while just staying in one spot, essentially. And you're dealing with all kinds of medical situations, not just those of the body, but those of the mind. You're going to get really hit. You're going to get hit hard in the heart. You're going to get hit hard in the gut. You're going to get hit hard in the mind. And I absolutely implore you to watch this. I have been as vague as I can be because if I spoil anything, I really don't want to ruin it for you. But I highly, highly recommend you guys watch this. When this comes out on physical, I am buying it. I'm going to buy one for my mom because she was a huge fan of ER for, I think, the first 10 years. Like, if you guys were fans of the old ER setup, want to see a medical show that just doesn't have the dumb side drama bullshit because you know that what happens in a hospital is already dramatic enough, watch this show. You will not regret it. I'm going to give The Pitt a 7 out of 7. 100% fantastic ride from beginning to end, and I cannot wait to watch it again. But those are my thoughts. Curious to see what you guys have to say. What do you guys think of this show? What do you compare it in terms of other medical dramas? Did you find it good? Did you find it bad? Let me know. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. All right, guys, that's all for me. See y'all next time.